Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So just when there's time where I'll be like, oh God, what am I gonna podcast about? Will I have a time? People have said to me, like, how do you, like almost 600 episodes, like how do you create all that content? I'm like, because my life is content, because there's stories and lessons all around me. And I'm trying to think what's going to be one with this one, but I got to share with you right now because it's fresh. So I just picked up my drink at Starbucks, my delicious chai latte. And I did a mobile order, which means you just go and pick it up. And so there's a couple drinks kind of sitting on this little section they have. And then Starbucks is pretty packed in there. People are waiting for the drinks to have, kind of gone in. They just order them at the counter. But, I can't tell whose is who. There's two venti cups. I ordered a venti. And I'm pulling up, you probably know this, like, I'm pulling the sleeve part down to see the label to look for my name. And the top opens and it spills. And I look around and I'm like, the barista, I'm like, can I get like some there's no napkins around. There's two guys behind me just watching. Like it's a reality show. And I'm like, I'm perplexed because I guess I think when I see people in that situation, I kind of jump to help them. It doesn't make me like some kind of saintly, human being. I think it's just like recognizing that, oh my God, someone just spilled something or let me help you out, right? Like, to me, it just seems like a reflex reaction. But no, these two guys. And so then I come back and it's actually just a little bit spilled out. So I'm putting the lid on and then they grab me some napkins, although I ran to the other end of the store to get where the napkins were because there wasn't anywhere where I was and where I was picking up the drink. And I turned to the two guys behind me who I was just kind of like, in my head, I'm like, really, dudes? Like, what the fuck? Are you not going to help? Like, they're literally like right behind me. And they're just watching me. And so I turn to them and I go, you guys must be single. And he goes, why? And I go, because there's no way that you would see a woman in like that and not do anything. And so I'm kind of walking away. Now here's a couple things that I'm getting from this whole experience. Number one, it is a crazy thing that you at times can be, I don't know if this plays to the unconsciousness of our world, because there is something which is called the bystander effect. And I talked about it actually on a podcast a while back. There's been horrific shit like women that are raped in public and people stand around and watch. Now we might go, oh my God, people are awful, human beings are assholes. Like there's literally like a psychological phenomenon where people will just like watch it. Or the bystander effect is kind of like people thinking, well, somebody else will help, right? So what I'm thinking is like, how many times have we watched something in our life? We see something that's, I don't know, something that's come up tragically. And we go, well, other people will help out, right? We see a need for something. And go, well, somebody else will help out. And we do not offer help to another human being because we're busy, we're late, or we're just sitting there watching it. Like you might as well just pull up a big bag of corn and be like, man, I'm just going to like watch this thing play out. What is it, do you think? Let's kind of have I guess this will be I can't have a conversation. Maybe you can email me and let me know your 2 cents about this. But I do see it a couple ways. I do see that we're a society that's, even though there can be probably, there was probably 30 people maybe, like waiting for drinks, ordering drinks, maybe 40 kind of, in Starbucks, sitting at a table, talking to friends, working on a laptop, that kind of thing. And it's not a huge Starbucks. And yet, can be that close in proximity to people and yet feel so not connected to the others around us. Maybe to your buddy next to you, right? But not to the others. Like almost like seeing humankind is this compartmentalized kind of thing. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, just, it reminds me of when I remember going to Toronto, which is a huge city. I think Toronto's about 6 million population. I used to live in Toronto years back. And after we moved here to Victoria, which is on an island, it's a geographically large island. But, and there's a very, very close community feel to it. Not a huge city, about 75,000 people. But it is, of all the cities, I've lived lots of cities around the world, US and Canada, that like, it has a very, very community feel. Like people give a shit. People talk to you. People, you walk your dogs. People will have conversations with you. Like it has this beautiful feel to it. So we had moved here to Victoria in August. And then about 5 weeks later, my husband Ed and I are at a seminar in Toronto. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be so great. Like I love the feel. I've mostly lived in big cities, at least for a lot of my life. I love the energy of big cities. And I remember it was fun for about a day. And then what I started to notice is that even though you're walking around downtown and there's tons of people around, that everybody does not, like, eyes are down. Nobody's looking at each other. Certainly not looking at each other in the eyes. And it had this very kind of disconnected feel to it. So I think it is something to say about what is happening to our society now. Literally, you could see someone in front of you that's like, ooh, they just spilled a drink. And instead of going, let me grab some napkins or something, you just stand there and watch it. And are we becoming that unconscious as a people that we're so used to watching things on screens that we don't realize when real life is happening in front of us that maybe someone needs some fucking help, It is. Now, here's the second piece of that. I immediately, and it's funny because as I'm talking to these guys, and because they never told me whether they were single, because I'm thinking like, dude, if you're a married, like there's no way you can be a married man and see that and have that kind of, I don't know, I could be totally off base with here, but to me, maybe just to be a good man was kind of more what I was getting at. And to see that and just be like watching. Now they're both two young guys. They're probably like in their 20s. But I'm walking at the store and I remember like I turned back again. I go, I'm right? You're single? And I don't even know the way, and I kept on walking, right? Pure fucking ego. Purely in a state of ego when I did that with them. Judged the shit out of them. This is just real. This is what I did. And how do I know? Now you could still go like, no, Karen, like those guys should have helped you, man. You had every right to No, you want to know how I felt it? Because I felt it. Because I walked away from that situation and I was like, I almost felt kind of like shaky. Like there is a feeling that you will have physically in your body when you're out of alignment from a place of love. When you're out of alignment with who you truly are. Let's actually get across the street. We're going to walk for a little bit here. There is a feeling you will have inside of your body. And I felt it instantly. And it's the same feeling I used to have when I get like mad at people. Like if someone cuts me off in traffic and I flip out on them, or I don't know, like I know what that feeling is, and my heart would beat. And I might go, yeah, I'm getting kind of worked up. It's just me, and that's yes. But I can tell you right now, I know what that feeling is now, and it's not just because I'm angry, I'm heated. It is I'm out of alignment with who I am. And this was a beautiful lesson for me today because it allowed me to see and to remember of, even though your body's your body and it's this suit that we walk around here on this planet Earth, and we are bigger than our bodies, 100,000%. I believe and know that to be true. I still think that we have these beautiful bodies that allow us to tap in and kind of go, where am I at with things, right? Where am I at with things? And when I'm out of alignment with who I am, I feel it in my body. I just do. Let me give you another example. I started taking swimming lessons almost a year ago, about like 10 months ago or so. And, I took swim lessons when I was, probably like once, and I was like 5 or 6, and, I could kind of swim, but what I would refer to as hack swimming, like no proper strokes. And I was inspired by my kids taking private lessons, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start taking swim lessons. It's totally out of my element. I don't feel really super comfortable in the water. I can swim to save my life, but I don't feel comfortable in the water. And as soon as I started to begin taking swim lessons, and just to be in the water, it feels like complete alignment in my body. Like it really, really does. There's this flow to being in the water. There is this I think being in the water is something that we are used to. I mean, think of it. We were in water in our mommy's tummies for 40 weeks leading up to birth. I think it's just a natural state for a lot of us, but I really feel that I feel really at peace when I get out and I paddleboard and I'm on the water. So either in or on the water. And so there's like an alignment feel. I remember at the beginning I would come out of the pool from a lesson and I'd just be like, it just feels good in my body. And it's beyond this, like I moved and I exercised and my body feels good, right? Like kind of that high, that euphoria, that like your body just feels great after you work out or been to the gym or run or something like that, right? Like it was beyond that. It's alignment for me. It's alignment. Oh God, there's a lot of ramblings on this episode today, right? What is the purpose of this whole thing today? I think there are situations that are going to come up in life that will allow you to really check in and say, is how I'm showing up in alignment with who I truly am? That ego piece of me, that's still going to surface. It's going to surface in everybody because that ego is a powerful motherfucker. It allowed me to really see that, listen, I don't have to be in that place. I don't know these guys' stories. Who the hell am I to judge them? Maybe they just lost their dad or something. Like, I don't know where they're at. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they were afraid of women. They just came out of a bad relationship. I don't know what their story is. And it certainly isn't my place to judge them or to do those silly comments, which I did. Which I felt like I was justified in the moment. And it was very reactive. And really, it came out of a little bit of a piece of me feeling kind of embarrassed. I'm like, I just spilled this drink everywhere, right? Like, fuck. And projected that onto them. And I could feel it right in my body as I'm walking to the Starbucks. And I'm doing this like, what the hell's wrong with these guys? And I'm like, really, Karen? What the hell's wrong with me? That was not cool. Now, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm not going to think about it. If I was to see these guys again, they'd be like, hey, remember me? I'd be like, oh, dude, my bad. Totally judged you. Not okay. I apologize. I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. But I'm not going to sit there and beat myself up about it right now. That's not necessary. Listen, this isn't about living your life in a perfect place of love and namaste and never everything, going off the handles sometimes. It's going to happen at times. But the lessons you learn from it, right? What you can extract from those experiences. And then the purpose of me doing this in the podcast is to be able to share this with you so that you can see. You can see this, like these experiences we have in life have such beauty and meaning. And we might take a look at it and you could have an experience like mine, just be like, oh my God, I was such a bitch to them. Like, why did I do that? And where else am I doing that? And go down this thing. Or just say, you know what? Happened. What can I learn from the experience? How can I share that? How can I now teach the lessons I learned to someone else? I have this platform, which is this podcast, to do so. And get something from the experience and go, right. When I'm out of alignment, I feel it in my body. When I'm in alignment, I feel it in my body. And there's a flow and a peace and an ease and a beauty and a love and a contentness and a joy that I feel when I'm in a place of alignment. Out of alignment, heart beats. I don't feel like myself. I feel agitated. I feel nervous. I feel anxious. I feel stressed. My energy drops. In alignment, my energy's in flow. My energy's high. So we're going to call this episode, How Do You Know When You're in Alignment? AKA the Starbucks incident. Or maybe don't cry over a spilt drink or something. I don't know. So funny. I try to think of titles to come up with that's going to, maybe, make you curious or go like, oh, I got to listen to this one. But a lot of you listen to the podcast every single episode anyways, so whatever. We could just number them if we wanted to. But yeah, this is how you know when you're in alignment. How do you know when you're in or out of alignment is that. So here's your more tip for today. I want you over the next 24 hours to be really, really aware of you going throughout your day. And notice. There's going to be times that you're going to feel like you're out of alignment. You might feel like a lot of your day is going to feel that way. You'll be like, oh my God, dude, I wake up and then I'm stressed out and I lose my patience with my husband or my kids. And then, I'm mad at people and then I'm like it just continues. You might be like, this would be a huge wake up call to, man, I live a lot of my day not in a place of joy or happiness, like just very out of alignment with who I am. Listen, you can be in alignment, by the way, and feel sadness and feel pain. That's okay. But you will know exactly what I'm talking about when you begin to experience these things. So for the next 24 hours, this is your more tip. For the next 24 hours, just be very aware of your day and notice when you're in alignment and notice when you're not. And here's the second piece of this is how will you choose to continue on to the next day and the next days after that based on your experience over these 24 hours. All right, sister, finishing up, 2 things I'm going to actually ask you about today. Number 1, I would love for you to go to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. If this podcast is of value to you, help me to be able to reach more women who are like you with this message. And one of the ways that that can actually be done is sharing up the episodes for sure and sharing with your friends and those that have done that. And if you will do that, then I certainly appreciate that. But absolutely leaving a review on iTunes. I mean, I have some good ones. I have some not so good ones. Some people who are very angry with my podcast, and that's okay. It's not about me. But I would love to drown that out with love. So head over to iTunes, give a 5-star review. And if you don't already subscribe to the 101 Tomorrow newsletter, do that right now. drkarenosborne.com/action guide. Enter in your email. I'm going to send you some cool free gifts, and we'll get you all hooked up on that today. I'll talk to you in the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you living in alignment as much as you can every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.